before we get to what we've seen, wanted to ask you in general, what do you think realistically we'll be able to learn from what we're able to see through spring or, the spring game? What are you looking at?
Well, it is a challenge to learn a lot with the limited viewing windows we get, and Jimbo, as we saw in that Monday press conference, didn't want to reveal too much, but there were some position battles that intrigued me that I was kind of looking at. Obviously, running back being one of them, with Amari Daniels, Le'Veon Moss, and the early enrolled freshman Ruben Owens. We've even seen left guard there be some competition there. Jordan Moko was the starter for the first practice. The second practice, it was Cam Dewberry. Center was another one where you got your top two guys out, and Bryce Foster and Matthew Wyckoff. And last two practices, first one it was Remington Strickland as a starter. Last one it was Mark Naboo. Defensive side, you've got some competition as well. And we even seen it starting quarterback. The first one was Connor Wigman as the starter. The second one was Max Johnson. I don't think anybody thinks that Max Johnson will win the starting job, but Jimbo likes to keep it a competition. He rarely ever names a starting quarterback before preseason camp, just tracking his whole career. But it'll be interesting to see how those position battles go. I think, having covered a couple other programs, looking at A&M, you see so much talent on that roster. I mean, just looking at their defensive line in general, you get a little spooked. You're like, man, these guys are intimidating me, and I'm not even practicing against them. So it's been cool to see just for myself. Just you hear the names, you see the ratings, but seeing it for yourself. Last two programs I covered was Notre Dame and Florida State, two teams that have had a lot of success in the last few years. Florida State had a 10-win season last season. Notre Dame made a couple playoff appearances. And when you look at this roster, I think they're more talented than those teams. So, they've got all the pieces there. The thing that concerned me a little bit is depth. And so we'll get into all of that. But certainly the talent is there for A&M for sure.
And you touched on it with the offensive line, four guys out. Matthew Wyckoff, Bryce Foster, I believe Hunter Erb, and there's another one that I'll remember in a minute. But
TJ Shanahan, yeah.
Yes, TJ Shanahan's out. What did you kind of take away from, being down that many guys this early in spring? A source of concern, or just more reps for these guys in the depth that you mentioned? What's your level of, I guess, intrigue there?
It is definitely my biggest concern, probably on this whole team right now, is the offensive line group, because they struggled last year. That was one of their worst groups last year, especially in pass blocking. If you look at the advanced metrics, they were one of the worst in the country in a lot of the pass blocking metrics. And then, some of that wasn't just talent. It was injuries. It was lack of continuity. They didn't know who was starting this game or that game. It's coming into this offseason, you were hoping, okay, the projected starting five you would think would be Trey Zune at left tackle, Cam Dewberry at left guard, Bryce Foster center, right guard, Layden Robinson right tackle, Ruben Fothery. Well, none of those guys not only have ever started a game together, but they also will not play at all together this spring. They will not have the opportunity to gel together. And I think that is going to be huge for this offensive line, for this lack of continuity that they had. They need that desperately. But, not only that, but you've only got about 11 scholarship guys that are healthy right now. And so they're not able to have a third team offensive line. They're not able to have a full scrimmage setting where they can go 3D. So that's kind of my concern for this team. You see the clear drop off with some of these backups, and Jimbo Fisher decided to bring Steve Adazio, the offensive line coach, back. I would say that was probably one of the more questionable decisions that he made in the offseason. He was on a one-year contract that expired February 1st. But anyway, it was something that I wanted to look at going into spring camp. Seeing it the first couple days, a little concern for me for sure.
Trey Zune, that other guy I was thinking about, who's also going to be out for spring practice that you mentioned. And then I guess obviously we'll get to it. You mentioned the talent is kind of there across the board. It's just kind of what they're able to do with it. Obviously, the biggest area where A&M has tried to address how they're using the talent they have. Bobby Petrino coming in. I did want to ask you about your thoughts on the Monday comments about Bobby Petrino. I'll just give you my take first. I think I interpreted Jimbo as saying, if things go well with this new, whatever we're doing on offense, it's not because we fundamentally changed away from what I was doing before. It's largely that we're just executing better. Not to take anything away from Bob Petrino, but that's kind of where I saw his comments coming from. Not saying he wasn't giving Petrino control or letting him call the plays, just a reluctance to feel like there was a wholesale change. I'm curious what you thought of the whole debacle there.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I just think we're not going to know until we see it for ourselves. I'm in kind of total wait and see mode. I totally understand that the notion that he's going to give up play calling, that Petrino's involved in a lot of different things and game planning, and I think he will be. I think they have all the right intentions. My only question is, what are they going to do if things go wrong? What are they going to do? They play Miami, one of their first couple games. They go into halftime and they've got 3 points. Or what happens? They lose their first couple big games. Jimbo Fisher going to take back play calling. We see it happen all the time at the college and the NFL ranks where things don't go well and they change things up midseason. That's not to say it'd be the wrong decision, but I'm just saying, who knows what this dynamic will look like on a week in, week out basis. And the fact that he wasn't able to just answer definitively and just right away say, yes, he's taking the play calling, that's our intention, blah, blah. It raised some questions with me. Again, he ended up saying, yes, Petrino's taking the play calling, but he did it very hesitantly and he didn't seem overly happy about it. So for me, that tells me, I wonder what he's going to do if things go wrong.
Carter Karels from Gig'em 247. Thanks so much for coming on Aggie Sports Overtime. Look forward to talking to you as the season progresses.
Awesome. Thank you, Ben.